Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Cryotic Flame video. This time I'm going to show you what Starcards I use for my Starfighters. Let's start with the fighter now. So on the fighter I use defensive upgrade, mostly for the X-Wing and the Arc 170. For the TIE Fighter it decreases the cooldown for the afterburner, which is still good. You can swap out that one for... where is it? For regeneration delay if you want to be more effective on the TIE Fighter. But again, this is okay for all of the fighters, so you heal more. Then I use Reinforced Skull, again together with the defensive upgrade. You have a lot more HP and you heal more HP, so it makes you very survivable. And of course I use tuned lasers, because this 10%, in my opinion, is actually more. It says 10%, but it does more damage, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go to the Interceptors now. On the Interceptors I use Elite Pilot because they're already very maneuverable. With this, even more so. You can outmaneuver almost all of the enemy ships and some of the heroes. Fire Control Cycler for the extra rate of fire, and Tune Lasers for the extra damage. So this combination makes you very deadly and survivable if you can maneuver enough. Other options is this one, Heat Reduction, so you can unequip this and equip Advanced Capacitors, so you are full on damage dealer, full glass cannon. So let's continue to the bombers now. On the bombers I use Reinforced Hull for extra hull health. So they are more tanky, of course. Defensive upgrade, so extra healing on the Y-wings, and this is the extra, how do you say, stealth ability. I'm not sure what's the name of it. The enemies cannot target you, so extra time on it. It's also really good for the droid bomber and for the Empire bomber. And Tune Lasers for more damage. Of course, you can use advanced torpedoes for pushing objectives, very good, 40% extra damage is amazing. Also advanced capacitors if you want to go full damage and full objective pushing. The weapon systems on the bombers, especially in the Y-wings, is also great, extra active time on the cannon, so you can mix and match. This is what I chosen for my own playstyle. So I like to stay survivable with these two, and I like to deal damage also both to the objective and to enemy pilots. So I struck some balance. So let's start now with the Heroes TIE Fighters. In this Heroes TIE Fighter, it's Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren I use Reinforced Hull because he is kinda squishy, because he doesn't have any true healing ability, except perhaps this. Tune Lasers for the extra damage, of course, and Elite Pilot for turning rate. You can switch off Elite Pilot for this one, so you have healing, but it's not that much healing, because it's 1230 and you need to focus the objective, and it's very difficult, I mean not the objective, the enemy, and it's very difficult to do that when you're getting chased. So it can save you sometimes, but in my opinion it's better to have better turn rate and just escape the situation. Other options for him is... not sure. I think those four are the best options. And now the Falcons. So Han Solo first. Wookiee Engineering, extra damage on the special ability when you have no cooldown and extra damage. Reinforced Hull, because he already has a lot of HP, you even have more. And Tune Lasers for the extra damage. So these two does hell of a lot damage, and with this you survive. Other options, I guess, is this, together with the extra damage instead of this, so you hit more often and without cooling. The aim assist, I'm not sure if it even works. The repair systems together with this makes you more tanky. And I think that's it. The concussion missiles doesn't do too much damage to the objectives, and that's what you want to do with Han Solo. Rey is usually a tank. I currently use, because she's not level 25 yet, I currently use Scavenger, so extra healing on the healing ability, repair ability, extra concussion missile damage because I want her to do some damage. Wookiee Copilot, when you use Focus Mind, the Wookiee Chewbacca is healing you, so another great healing ability. But when I level up to level 20, I use this one for extra HP, together with the healing ability is great, and 2 lasers for extra damage. So I'll probably use this, this, and this, just so you have in mind. Lando. For Lando, I'm using Lead Pilot for extra turn rate because I want to surprise people with the turn ability of his Starfighters. Not Starfighter. His Falcon. His Falcon is already more maneuverable than the others, so you can surprise some enemies by turning slightly better. Then Reinforced Hull for more HP and 2 lasers for more damage. You see what I would like to use all the time. Also, Advanced Capacitors is great for the extra damage overall, and Repair Systems is great for survivability together with the maximum health increase. So you can mix and match between these 5. Otherwise, I don't think he has something. This is not a good ability. This is okay because it's upgraded for him, but again, not that great. Maybe if you want to use these two, the Elite Pilot and this, so you can be the most maneuverable Falcon ever, but it doesn't really matter because you're not still more maneuverable than the heroes and the Interceptors. Now, Darth Maul. This is the dark side pushing objective machine. So you look at here. Rate of fire increase. More damage. Furious Attacker. After you use the Dark Apprentice ability on the Q ability, you don't gather heat for 4 seconds. So this together with this, amazing. And Deadly Ambusher. When you leave stealth with Maul, you do 40% extra damage. So you put on the stealth, you target the objective or the enemy Falcon, for example, with the Q ability, so you fire without heat dissipation need, and the rate of fire. These 3 melt objectives, melt Falcons, melt anything that you target. Other options, of course, repair systems, but you cannot repair in stealth, so not that great. Advanced Capacitors, if you want to be more like a fighter, you can use these 2, plus 1 of these, but your overall damage is lower. Advanced Torpedoes also great, but you have more abilities to deal damage to the objectives. And I think that's it on him. Great for objective pushing. Boba Fett. I haven't played Boba Fett that much, but I use Reinforced Hull for the extra damage, so they don't target you as often because you have a huge HP pool. Turn rate. I like to use the turn rate on Boba Fett, so you can surprise some people with the turning ability of Boba Fett. And this is the most important in my opinion, the Seismic Charge, 70% more radius, which makes it very deadly. Especially on some maps you can kill half the enemy team with this. Also, this is great if you use him as a fighter, it disables the enemies for longer. Repair Systems is also good instead of, for example, the turn rate. Aim assist, I'm not sure again if it works. Engine upgrade is okay, but not great. And that's it for Boba Fett. Now we continue to Vader. Vader, I use the Overcharge Barrage. One bro suggested this ability, and yes, it does great job. 2.8 seconds of the barrage, and you have 2 of them. It melts objectives. It melts almost any enemy that you can hit with it. Amazing. Rate of fire increase, again, make Vader more deadly, and Hull make Vader more survivable. Instead of that, you can use the heat dissipation or Elite Pilot, so you can be even more maneuverable, but in my opinion it's not that important. And more or less that's it for Vader. Let's go to Luke. Luke, I like to use Astromech, the R2-D2 ability for more healing, and the Hull together, so you are much more tanky, and the Tune Lasers for more damage. You can use the turn rate. Again, he's very maneuverable already, doesn't need it as much. Rate of fire together with the damage increase for a full glass cannon build. So you can, for example, you can remove this or this and use full glass cannon ability for much more damage. And I think that's it. And this is also good. His missiles are very persistent, with the Obi-Wan's guidance, and he has a long cooldown on him. You can reduce it for more damage, but I'm not sure what you would cut for that. Then we continue to probably my favorite Starfighter hero, Poe. So again, similar as look, healing plus hull for tankiness and more damage for more damage. Very simple. This is not a good ability. This is also not sure if it works. This is an option together with the Tune Laser for more overall damage. The pod accelerator pod ability, I use it quite a lot, but you don't need lower cooldown. Advanced torpedo for objective pushing is great, but in my opinion this is the best option. So tankiness plus damage. So now we continue to Yoda. On Yoda I use the E ability regenerates health, Elite Pilot for extra turning rate. This makes Yoda the first or second most nimble hero behind Lintra, and extra fire rate for extra deadliness on Yoda. You can use repair systems instead of this one, for example, if you manage to get away instead of targeting someone with the E ability. You can also use the ion capacitors ability, but the initial blast is more than enough. The double duration on it is not that important in my opinion. And again, advanced capacitors together with the fire control system, so you have overall better damage. And that's it on Yoda. Now we go to Tallie Lintra, everybody's favorite girl. Elite Pilot. This is a boosted ability on her, so 40% with this active. She is definitely the most nimble Starfighter out there. More damage because she doesn't do too much damage on her own, so more damage always helps. Advanced capacitors, less heat build up for her, so you can actually kill stuff. Other options for her, this is good for your team and also for yourself, but the cooldown is too long on this ability. I think this is the E ability, the healing in area around you, so it improves it. Concussion missiles, not that important. Dissipation. Engine power is something to be noticed on her, so if you use this plus this, makes her extremely fast, almost too fast to control, but it's very fun, but not very efficient. So in my opinion, focusing a little bit more on damage and the turn rate makes her very effective. And last but not least, Iden Versio. I used Reinforced Hull for the extra HP, Tune Laser for the extra damage, and Elite Pilot for extra turning. You can use the extra damage on the barrage, doesn't make too much sense to me. Extra hit reduction is also great, but what should you cut? And where's the repair systems is also great. Perhaps swap out this for this, so you regenerate more and you have more HP, so you're a little bit more survivable. But again, she doesn't have too much HP, she can get one shot by some heroes. So that's it. We covered all the Starfighters and the Starfighter heroes. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys use. And perhaps I can use some of your suggestions if you are able to provide them. So have in mind, this is for my playstyle. The Starcards are made for my playstyle. I usually focus on dogfighting and focus the objective when I have to. You know, there are some players that focus more on the objective. There are some players that focus only on starfighting. But as you see, I like to use balance of cards between survival and damage dealing for almost all of them, except perhaps Maul. Maul is a glass cannon, full. And Luke can be a glass cannon, but I don't have him configured that way. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.